Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and we are back with another weekly wares video. And if this is your first time finding this channel, my name is Gerard. Today we are talking about fragrances, more specifically the 7 fragrances that I wore every day last week. So let's not waste any time. Let's start with Sunday. Really, the theme that I wanted to go with this week was fragrances that I really enjoy during the transition from summer to fall. And if I'm being honest, fall is my favorite time of year, without question. And I'm really excited about future videos over the next season because these are fragrances that, let's just say, probably for myself have a little bit more depth than what some quote unquote freshies might offer. And this scent is no exception to that. Scent we are talking about is Jo Malone Vetiver in Golden Vanilla. Now, I've tried a couple Jo Malones. There are some, let's call them perfume snobs, that don't like Jo Malone because Jo Malone is rarely available. It's typically a safe fragrance to wear. So if you are a contrarian and don't enjoy fragrances for what they are, just sometimes the simplicity of the fragrance and availability and how easily available it is and to try, you might not appreciate this one or even give it a shot. And this one, though, I ended up picking up at a cosmetics company store, which if you guys have one of those stores near you, you need to check out. There's a lot of times where they have incredible fragrances on sale there, up to 60% off sometimes. So that's why I grabbed this one. But there's something about this one that I just can't get enough of. And yes, it has vetiver and it has vanilla. And those are the two main components of the fragrance, hence the name. But there's just something that offers this, just again, the simplicity of it, the earthiness. The vetiver is just gorgeous here. The vanilla is not sweet. So this is not a sweet fragrance. The vanilla is so well balanced. And there are times where I find myself struggling to figure out, is this a green fresh fragrance or is this a richer, smokier, sort of earthy fragrance? It's both. And that's what I love about this one, how it balances those two elements, going back and forth effortlessly. I like to wear this one on cooler days, but this is perfect for warmer days as well. Perfect transitional fragrance from day to night. And performance here is also surprising. This is something that Jo Malone calls a cologne intense concentration. So I get really great performance from this. I do. It offers a lot of projection, longevity. If you haven't tried anything from the Jo Malone line, I would suggest starting here and with the Cologne Intense fragrances. I think, although expensive, but I did get this on a fantastic deal, as I said, from the cosmetics company store. You can definitely feel like you're getting your money's worth in quality and overall performance. Incredible fragrance. I love this one. Jo Malone, Vetiver, and Golden Vanilla. One of the things about New England weather is that there's kind of a running joke here where if you don't like the weather, just wait a few minutes and it will change. And on Monday, it was hot as hell. It was just sweltering. You would have thought that it's middle of July, summer, and it was just really hot. And I said, there was a fragrance that I wanted to reach for a couple times over the summer. I don't know why I didn't. I decided to wear it now, and I think it's because it's one of those fragrances that is a good transitional fragrance from summer to fall. Scent we are talking about is Zaharoff Coco Loco. Now, one thing I want to start off by saying about this fragrance, and really any fragrance from the Zaharoff line, is that I think that they are misunderstood at times. I mean, I think this particular house gets more hate than it deserves. Now, in the air right now, smells incredible. I believe there's a tangerine note in here. Get a lot of fruity sweetness, and this is a sweet fragrance. There is nothing serious or buttoned up about this scent. It is truly a fun, sort of carefree type of fragrance that I would imagine bringing on with me on vacation. And I just really love the bottle. I think a lot of attention goes into Zaharoff's presentations, and I just love it. I think it's really well done. Now, we can talk about the hate. I don't want to focus on the hate for this particular brand, but the long and short of it is that this particular brand gets hate because there are certain influencers that work directly with the brand, that promote the brand, that I guess are sort of representatives of the brand. And with that happening and being, the case, some people feel like they are not, they're being pushed something by an influencer just to sell a product. That does happen. Let's face it, that happens in every industry, in every sort of corner of the internet, YouTube specifically. That is happening every day on anything that you're watching and consuming. But with that being said, I don't think that should deter you from trying Zaharoff fragrances, because the two that I own, Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme and this, I absolutely love. I think they're incredible. I have samples of other ones, and I think that you can buy samples for pretty much any fragrance that's been released from the house. I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that. I bought this myself, and they sent me nothing, and I love what I've tried from Zaharoff. I think they're really well done fragrances. Claude Deer is the perfumer on most of them. They're really thoughtful. There's a story behind them. Really good performance, quality. I mean, there really is. I have nothing bad to say about the brand. So, and this is no exception. I really enjoy this fragrance. As I said, it has this coconut note that is hard to get right. It is hard to get coconut right in a fragrance. A lot of times it can come across smelling inauthentic, suntan lotiony. This doesn't have that. It just doesn't. It has some sweet vibes, some vanilla vibes, a little bit powdery, ambery, warm and spicy. It checks all the boxes for me. And while still feeling fresh and uplifting, which is why I chose it for this particular list. So I think if you have not tried a Zaharoff fragrances, you should. You should give it a try. And I may be making a bigger thing out of the hate than is deserved, because maybe the average person doesn't know some of the hate that surrounds this house. But let's just say that if you guys care about what I say, I have not had nothing but good experiences with this brand. And Coco Loco is a good one. Zaharoff Coco Loco. My man, Danny Bell, one of my loyal subscribers, friend. We've talked. We share the same passion for fragrance. And he sent me this bottle, and I could not be more humbled and appreciative that he did that. So what you're talking about is Loewe IDL Cologne from Guerlain. And for a while, this one was available at rack stores and cheap. And then along the way, it became a little less accessible and harder to find and more expensive. And that is something that we have to deal with in this hobby sometimes. But a really beautiful use of almond. It has this softness to it. It's not overwhelming. It's a fragrance that I like to describe as, it's supposed to be discovered on you as opposed to be grabbing you. So it's not a big projector. It's not beast mode by any means, but there's just something about it that's so addictive. It has this really nice citrus note up top, and that some woodiness and that almond note, adding this just classiness to it. I think this is unisex. I think both men and women can wear this. And it really doesn't lean one way or the other for me, which generally is the case with a lot of Guerlain fragrances. A lot of them are unisex, despite being marketed to men specifically or women specifically. They just sort of walk that line. And this is no exception to that. I absolutely love this fragrance. Super addictive. One that I really want to spray more often than not. And I think ideal, no pun intended, Loewe IDL, for this time of year. I think, while you're going to have some warm days, you're going to have some cooler days as we go into the fall months, and this one is going to be perfect. Now, with that being said, I know this one's a little more expensive. If there's a cheaper alternative to this, I don't know of it. Would love for you guys to drop in the comments down below if you know of one. But nonetheless, this one is still available. You can still buy this from trusted online sellers if you can find them. But yeah, incredible stuff. Loewe IDL Cologne from Guerlain. On Wednesday, I went to see Post Malone with my wife and some friends, and Amazing show.
Thank you so very fucking much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
And I'm a big fan of Post Malone. And just, he has a country album out right now, which, to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of country, but there's just something about seeing his music live, despite it, some of that having sort of country elements to it. I really enjoyed. It didn't change my opinion of him or anything. I had a great time at the show. So I wanted something elegant, classy, but also fun and just super high quality. So I decided to go with is Santal 33 from Labo. And yeah, for a while, this scent, I think, some might think it was overdone, meaning it had a lot of clones. It was worn a lot, really popular in New York City. A lot of young professionals wearing this fragrance. Oh, man. There's something, it's just so alive about it. The quality is exceptional, next level. Labo, not cheap, super expensive fragrances, but so well done. When you smell this, it smells so different than anything else you've smelled. The sandalwood just is so authentic, jumps out at you, and is the prominent note here with some pepper and musks and woods. And man, this stuff is beautiful. Some people think it smells like a hotel. I think it's because this scent DNA has been used in so many other aspects, right? Room air fresheners, car air fresheners. It's been copied, barbershops. I would argue that this is just as popular in barbershops as what we call barbershop fragrances to this day. A lot of barbers are starting to use this. My barber, for example, has a bottle of Santal 33 sitting on her shelf. At the end of your cut, she will give you a couple sprays. So, yeah, shout out to Dana at Rectify Barbershop. But incredible fragrance, and performance here is next level. As has been my experience with most Labos, exceptional performance. And this one just had it. The night that I wore it was perfect. We were outside, Post Malone, Fenway Park, nice breeze, cool air, great time. This one came through for me. Santal 33 from Labo. Okay, so Thursday. This was my most recent rack store pickup. This was a fragrance that I had wanted to try for quite some time. I kind of got into a little back and forth with a commenter on that video claiming, since when is this fragrance rare? Because on my thumbnail I said rare find, which in my opinion, look guys, I've done hundreds of these videos. You guys know. Every Friday I drop a rack store video, and I've only seen this a couple times. So for me, this is a rare fragrance. Scent we are talking about is Carolina Herrera's 212 Men Sexy. And yeah, well, look, this scent I liked. There's nothing not to like about this fragrance. And I think this is maybe I can't remember when this was actually released. I want to say maybe early 2000s, mid 2000s, somewhere around there. But it has this powderiness to it, this vanilla touch, tonka bean, a little bit of sweetness. Just the most subtle sweetness that I personally enjoy the most. Something that you would find in a Lamal, kind of an old school type evening fragrance. Lamal Les Parfums, it reminds me a little bit of that. The powderiness, the tonka. There's a kind of a fresh, almost zesty element to it when you first spray it. But this is kind of an old school sweet fragrance. Nowadays, when you smell sweet, you think something like The Most Wanted and from Zaharoff. Super sweet, caramelly, candy-like. bubblegum, as some people like to refer to it as. This is not that, but it does have sweetness, and it has the perfect amount of it, in my opinion. This is not my favorite from the house, but I do like it. It does have something about it that kind of makes you want to keep going back and smelling it. One thing I will say is that the performance here, monstrous. Now, when I say monstrous, I don't mean it's going to fill a room. I don't mean, well, I guess I used the wrong word. I apologize for that. It's just, I guess, more than what I anticipated from this scent, because it does have a subtleness to it, but it lasted a long time. I got waves of it as the day went on. I could still smell it kind of hitting me and going, oh, wow, this is not what I was expecting, especially for an older fragrance, something that's probably been reformulated a few times. Really good performer. So if you like sweet fragrances, powdery, ambery, vanillic type scents, this is one that I think you're going to want to try. And yeah, it's going to remind you kind of other things, Lamal specifically. But I liked it. Carolina Herrera's 212 Men, sexy. So on Friday, I was working all day, busy day, just trying to kind of button things up, getting near the end of the month, and was in my office most of the day. But I just wanted something that was spicy. I was just in the mood for a spicy fragrance and clean smelling. And this one checks both of those boxes. The scent we are talking about is Viktor and Rolf's Spicebomb Original. This is the OG. And this isn't the extreme. This isn't a flanker. This is one that I think is overlooked. Has the perfect amount of spice and cleanliness. Just really masculine smelling fragrance, in my opinion. And just has this subtle undertone of sweetness that brings everything together. I think it needs that touch of sweetness here. Otherwise, it would just be too dry and harsh in a way. And I don't mean the scent overall is harsh. Just if it lacked that sweetness, it wouldn't have quite the amount of cohesiveness that I do get from this, which smells really clean, almost like a shave foam in some respects. We were talking about barbershop fragrances before. Almost like a modernized barbershop type fragrance, heavy on the spice, and really, really enjoyable. Doesn't last as long as maybe some of the others in the line. Definitely not as long as Extreme, but Extreme is Extreme. It's heavy on certain elements, where this is more balanced and super slept on, in my opinion. Not one that's talked about enough. And I think the ideal transitional fragrance from summer to fall, because this one you can, as the days start to cool off, this is kind of the only fragrance DNA sort of style that I really gravitate towards. The spicy, clean, masculine, barbershop type fragrances. And then as we get colder, then I'm more the heavy ambers, that type of thing. So yeah, really enjoy this one. Pretty good performance from it, and one that I don't think you should sleep on, because I know Extreme gets all the hype, but this one's damn good too. Spicebomb from Viktor and Rolf. Guys, I really hope you're liking the video thus far. We're about to get into Saturday scent, but really quickly want to ask you guys that if you enjoy content like this, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on bell notifications so you are updated whenever I upload something new. We are on the road to 17,000 subscribers. I am so blessed to have you guys here talking about fragrances with me. And when you subscribe and like the video, it just means so much to me, and it really helps the channel grow. So for that, I appreciate you. Thank you. So finally, this is a house that I guess I kind of stumbled into by accident. And, it's just one of those houses that I said, wow, okay, for what I paid for that, I was really enjoyed the quality, and it lasted a good amount of time, and it did something a little different, and just kind of made me loyal to the house. And this, when you guys mentioned this one to me, a year or so ago, you said, you got to try this. And I did, because I trust you guys. Scent we are talking about is Loewe 7 Cobalt. Now, Loewe is a high-end designer brand based out of Spain, and really not one that you can go into a store and try. I truly have not seen any Loewe fragrances in stores. So every Loewe, well, I shouldn't say that. So good in the air. So good. This is one of my favorite blue fragrances with a twist to it. It smells like an elevated, just blue fragrance, next level. But Loewe Solo Platinum was a fragrance that I picked up off of Nordstrom's site, I believe, Saks off Fifth, on a discount. And I looked at the notes. I said, that looks interesting. I want to try that one. And I ordered it because it was like super cheap and loved it. When it first came in, tried it, and wore it out on date night with my wife. It smelled incredible. And at that point, I was hooked. Just everything I tried from them smelled incredible. So when you guys mentioned Loewe 7 Cobalt, I said, I got to try it. Elevated blue fragrance, lots of aromatics. Again, perfect amount of sweetness. I don't like overly sweet fragrances, but I think it balances sweetness well here. It is a blue fragrance, but it also has some green elements to it. Hence, I think the name Cobalt, it's not blue, it's green, it's mixed, whatever. Just smells amazing. And some people complained about the performance here. However, I think the performance is sneaky. I think you can spray a little heavier without choking anybody out around you. And you're going to get a little more longevity. It lasts on clothes, has a pepperiness to it. Think elevated blue. That's what this is. And just smells a really high quality. And there's something in here that just sets it apart from other blue fragrances. Absolutely love this one. And just super easy to wear. This could be a signature scent for anyone, any guy, any age. Smells incredible. Loewe 7 Cobalt. That's it, guys. All 7 fragrances that I wore every day last week. As always, would love to know what you guys wore last week, whether it was 1 or 10 fragrances. Drop it in the comment section down below. I always love hearing what you guys are wearing. But if you like what you saw today, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Hit that bell notification so you are updated whenever I upload new content. But until then, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video.